Hello friends! Welcome to Stories and Stitches. I'm Jada. How many beads can I cram into a single Easter egg? I don't mean like the plastic ones that you open up, but because that would actually probably hold quite a lot until you opened it and then they fell everywhere. I mean, I'm going to try and bead a basic egg shape, but I want to try and make it really fancy. So I'm going to see how fancy I can make a beaded applique. So that's what's happening today. Let's head down to the craft table and take a look at all the beads and the colors I've got, because that's what this is all about. Hello, Shell, and hello, Ms. Rabbit. Hello, Beth. Hello, my dear friends. So nice to have you here on a Friday afternoon. Woohoo! I've got a cup of tea. I've got a needle and thread. I've got felt. And I've got great company. What else could a girl ask for? Let's start. I've got all these pretty Eastery colors. I'm probably not going to use these orange, but I've got just lots of pretty lilacs and pinks, and I've got these blue. I think I want to work these blue in today because they're just so pretty. And I really like these. I want to free up these little apothecary bottles too. I liked what was it Becky? What Becky said on one of the last streams was she saved all of the beads that end up not having a proper hole through the middle, and she puts them in a little apothecary jar so that if she's got like a gluing project that requires beads down the road, she can sort of pull them out. So I like that. I want to free up one of these, so that's one of my plans. You know, scissors, needle, the whole usual thing. I'm gonna make it not so super big. I don't want to make a really big one. I have 3 different colors here because I thought I didn't know what colors I was going to use, but I think I'm going to lean into white. I think I'm just going to, when in doubt, go with the white felt, because everything kind of, it just hides nicely behind everything. So, all right, nothing too big. I might not even need to draw this. Let me get my good felt cutting scissors. I'm going to do this one down here. I'm going to just start right. I'm going to just actually cut the shape out. I think I did this with the heart. I cut the actual heart out when I was making a heart, and I just sort of beat it along, sort of trying to sort of stay inside the edge a little bit. This might not. There we go. That's not terrible. Maybe I'll just... There. Okay, I have an egg. Let's start sticking beads to it. All right. I'm going to start with a frame. That seems like the smart thing to do. And then I will do, I love that classic sort of zigzag shape that goes through it, the chevron, and then maybe like you fill in this side, this edge with one color, and then the middle with another color, and then the middle with another color. So I think I'm going to do that. It's really simple. It's no thinking required. I'm after no thinking today. I just want to play with pretty beads and see if I can make them look like a... I'm picturing... You guys must have done this. Mr. InStitches and I were talking about this earlier today. When we were kids, and they would give you in school like a big black and white outline of an egg, and they ask you to sort of color it in. I remember making some with construction paper. I remember painting some. And I feel like I did that several years in a row when I was little. And I kind of want to channel that vibe. I want to go back to that like 5-year-old Jada and color in an egg like I would have if I was a kid, only with pretty beads. So nothing complicated. I think I absolutely love this purpley pink color. So I think I'm going to, or do I use these? Maybe I'll do something a little different and I'll outline it in the funnel beads today. You know what? That's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to sort of try to stay just inside the edge. And that is the plan. That's the only plan I've got. What is everybody up to this afternoon? And who has weekend plans? I want to know. All right. Woo. Digging into the beads. These are kind of long, so I think I'm just going to do 2 at a time. I like it already. And I think I will do the back stitch. Get this out of the way. I plan to be artsy crafty and play games, says Jessica Rabbit. That's exactly what I plan on doing. I think I might make some soup later, and then I'm going to bury my, after this, once the good daylight is gone, because I feel like I can really enjoy my crafting when I've got good daylight. I've got certainly decent lighting here in the craft room. I could always use better lighting. I think the older I get, the more I want better lighting, but I think I would just rather do this sort of thing in the daylight. So as soon as the sun goes down, I am going to go back to gaming. But this should definitely be done before then. Beth says, tomorrow is my Monday, so I will work through Wednesday. Oh, you've got the Sunday scaries on a Friday. That's kind of, well, I mean, you know what? Look at on the bright side. You're employed. That is something that not everybody can say right now. Hopefully you kind of like your job, or there's certainly aspects of your job that you do enjoy. Most importantly, it is permitting you to continue crafting. I'm just glad you're here. Let's sort of forget about work for a while we indulge ourselves in some crafting, some craft supplies. Shell says, I made a quick lasagna for tonight's dinner. I'm coming over. That sounds amazing. Hopefully going out to a restaurant tomorrow and having a relaxing Sunday. There will be lots of crochet for me and gaming for hubby. That sounds fantastic. So I think I'm going to do all of the main drawing with these funnel beads, or these bugle beads, or whatever they're called. Bugle? For some reason, I know them as bugle beads. Does anybody have a different name for them that I should maybe know? Little cylindrical beads? I don't know what they're called. I'm going to use them like I'm drawing with a pen. So I'm going to do that little zigzag through the center design that 5-year-old Jada loves so much. I'm going to do that, but I'm going to draw it with these beads, and then I'm going to fill in side of the drawing with different colored beads. That's the plan. I love my job. I make candy at Disney World. It's fun. Beth, that's amazing. You're literally living a fairy tale. Candy at Disney. I mean, oh my gosh, does it get any more fantastical than that? Okay, so Beth's job is making other people's dreams come true. Nice. Holy smokes. Oh, that sounds like so much fun. I bet you have a really cute uniform to wear too. All the clothing that the cast members have to wear is just so darn cute. I have, just looking at the rest of my long fluted bugle beads or whatever they're called, I have bugle beads in copper and navy blue. My brain is working ahead here, gang. I've got this nice onyx, I've got black, and then this, I've got a lighter pink and white. I think those are all the colors. I'm just thinking because if this works out really well, then I might want to do another one in the same fashion, but with different colors. I think that would look pretty. Nice little collection. I'm always thinking like that. I'm not even like halfway around the first row of beads and my brain's like, and the next one, and the next one. How do you turn that off? The word candy, and here's Mr. InStitches. It's so true. Kids and adults watch in fascination. Beth, I bet they do. I bet they do. Candy making is not only pretty, it's an art, let's face it. Candy making is an art, but it just looks, it's so neat, it looks so pretty, it smells so good, and then you get to eat it. I mean, is there anything better? That's like the best kind of art. I often say, like when I see a color that I really like, you know, in a craft supply, or I love the way some kind of craft comes together, part of my brain is like, oh, I'd love to eat that. Like, not really, but it looks pretty enough, good enough to eat, you know? Now, as I come around the corner, I want to make sure that I can fit a perfect number of these beads into the shape. So let me see how I can do that. Looks like I should be able to sneak in maybe two more. Might be tight. Yeah, I think I can do two. Is there a somewhat shorter one? Let me see. These are all pretty uniform, which on one hand is really nice, but it would have been nice to have a couple that were just, oh no, like that's going to be perfect. So the way I'm going to make this fit is I'm going to come right through that first bead I made there. And then out the back. Ah. Ooh. Yeah. Pleased. All right, I'm going to fasten off and then I'm going to rejoin. I might, nah, this is enough to get me started. I'm going to rejoin in the middle and start sort of that little line in the middle. Cake pops and marshmallows, candy apples, Rice Krispie squares. Beth, my mouth is watering. Oh my gosh. So candy apples, love. Rice Krispie squares, adore. Cake pops, adorable and delicious. And marshmallows. I love marshmallows. Those are like four of my favorite things. And I'm not much of a candy eater. Oh my gosh, that sounds so good. All right, I'm going to show you a little progress. My computer will permit me. There we go. Oh my gosh, it's so, like, it's gonna blast it out with the light. Can I turn this? So it's a little bright. I know it's kind of getting, so I'm gonna just keep kind of turning it so you can sort of see that nice outline. Kind of gets blasted out with the sun, but that's okay. So yeah. So far so good. Don't want to mess it up. Caramel apples. Oh my gosh. Beth. That sounds so good. Oh, it must smell amazing. I used to work at a coffee shop a million years ago, and whenever I would leave, I would always smell like coffee and cakes, mostly coffee. And then the owner got wind of the fact that I bake and like to bake bread, and I'm pretty handy in the kitchen, and he had his cook quit. So he asked me if I wanted to sort of just take over. Not, it was nothing serious. It was just basically making muffins and scones and whatnot. Take over the weekend shift. And I said, yeah, okay, sure. And I just loved it. I was there super early in the morning, as you can imagine. Got to make a bunch of muffins and scones and whatnot. And I was also kind of given free range. I could sort of make extra things. So if there were like little recipes that I wanted to try or whatever, I could always kind of do my own thing. I loved it. Absolutely loved it. So at the end of the day, though, or the end of my shift, I would leave and I would smell like a bakery. And this was back when I was at university. And I would say, you know, go to a party later that night, straight from work. And I used to wonder why I had all these people kind of just hanging around me with this funny look on their face. I realize it's because I smell like food. Okay, here we go. I want to do I want to do maybe one and then two, two and then one. I'm going to do this. Don't think, just do. You know, in theory, this should bring me right back up to there. Yeah, okay, so that's half. And now I think I want to do, like, I want to sort of make the stripe. I'm going to echo it down here, and I might echo it up there again too. I don't know, we'll see. I like how this is looking so far. Beth, literally a Disney princess. I usually get home with cotton candy in my hair and chocolate on my apron. Oh my gosh. That just sounds so literally sweet and magical. Cotton candy in my hair and chocolate on my apron. I can see that. I'm picturing, you know, you looking a little flustered and kind of tired, but smelling like a candy factory and wearing like a bit of pink cotton candy in your hair. I love it. What a great visual. Okay, that's not terrible. I can probably push that angle up a little bit when I start filling in the beads. So that's actually kind of cute. I think I'm just going to leave it with the one stripe moving through the middle. I think I like the way that looks. So I'm not going to fasten off. I think I'll fill in the middle stripe first. So this is the fun part. Now I get to choose colors. So I have these little dark pink ones. I have these little blue ones, which I'm going to go with the blue in the middle. Blue in the middle. Your store is Goofy themed? And here I didn't think it could get any better. Oh my gosh! I love Goofy. So it looks like 3 of these blue beads stacked on their side is roughly the same length as one of the pink bugle beads. So that's handy. Oh, I hear the little footfalls of a little person. Hi, miss. Hi, gorgeous. Did you come for a visit? Hi. Hi. You going to say hello to everybody today, or are you just going to do the whole belly thing? I've got tail wags. I've got tail wags. Yeah? Do you want to come up and say hello? Do you want to come up and say hello? Okay, hang on. Let me see here. Let's see if Penny's going to say hello today. No? Am I getting... Or you're trying to pull me out of here. You know I'm not leaving. Do you want to come up and say hi? Do you want to come up and say hi, or is it just belly rubs? Is it just belly rubs? Yeah? You're still feeling kind of shy? Just bellies. Just belly. Yeah. Do you want to come up? No? Do you want to come up? Do you want to come up? No. You want to come up? Nah, she wants me to leave. I get, if she wants to get up in my lap, she gets up and waits for me to pick her up. But if she wants me to follow her and she reaches up and I reach down, she like gets back down and like goes, are we leaving? Are we leaving? So no, she just wants me to. She's left. We tried. Almost had a visit from Penny there, but Goofy's Candy Company. I really do have fun. Oh my gosh. I just love this. I love this. Goofy's Candy Company. That is, wow. So these beads all really change in shape, turns out. So I might do 4 at a time and then backstitch through 2. That seems to be okay. And 2 up here. Pretty necklace. Does it have a story? Says Shell. If you're referring to the one I'm wearing, I think, this is going to sound terrible, I think this is one from my sister-in-law. I think. If it's not from her, like kind of like a hand-me-down, then it's from my grandmother. And I know that I should probably know if I've got a piece of jewelry on that's from my sister-in-law or my grandmother. But I have, I managed to inherit quite a number of interesting pieces from um, my my grandmother, and a lot of them are kind of like I got them so long ago that I've just been pulling sort of stuff out of bags recently to kind of wear them. I do like my pearls. I have a lot of pearls. I really like pearls. My father gave me a lot of pearls. But my sister-in-law give every once in a while she kind of does a big purge of her jewelry closet, and she'll say, you know, hey, do you want this? Do you want that? So I'm not sure if this is one from her, because I did get some pearls from my grandmother's closet or her little collection. Either way, it's not one that I bought, but I do like it. Pearls are wonderful. I agree. I agree, Beth. I really like them. They're beautiful in their simplicity. And they go with everything. You want to make an outfit like a plain t-shirt and a pair of jeans look just a little bit more polished, put on a pearl necklace. I had a really lovely neighbor once upon a time when I was younger, and her mother, she was French. Um, Her mother never ever left her bedroom without her pearls on because she couldn't run the risk that might be seen and in quote undressed. So she didn't feel dressed unless she had her pearls on. And I remember my neighbor telling me this, and I was so tickled by that idea that, you know, one's pearls would make you feel appropriately dressed. I need another one that's a bit tight. Sometimes I can just get them over the needle, and if I push them just a little bit, I don't want to snap the bead, but sometimes I can get them to go, like they just sort of are just barely stuck. But other times they're like, nope. I wonder if I can try this one again. I really like how big that one is. No, definitely not going. All right, fine. How was the ice storm? Hopefully you didn't lose power, asks Ms. Rabbit. We luckily were spared. We did not get any ice. It was mostly just rain. It, however, did wind up snowing on us a significant amount. Didn't expect that. Woke up to an awful lot of snow. So that's kind of a, excuse me what, you know. But it will hopefully warm up again in the next couple days, and it'll melt. I'm sure we'll get snow again. It's March. It's the most unsettled weather of the year. It just wants to, yeah, it just wants to do all kinds of ridiculous things. But luckily we haven't lost power. So as long as we don't lose power, I'm generally, I can kind of put up with whatever the weather throws at me. So often it's the first one I put on that doesn't want to go through. And where did that go? Oh, I'll have to find that later. That's a strange one. Ooh, it works. Ha! I think I can get in one more round of 4 here, and then I'm going to have to reload the needle. Oh, come on. Oh, there we go. Oh, that one's not going. I'm grateful that it rained all afternoon and part of the evening yesterday, and now it's almost 20 degrees cooler. Ooh. Well, I'd rather it didn't jump by 20 degrees in any direction here. But I'm currently okay with the temperature's all right now. It's not terrible. Hi, sweetie. Sounds like you're having a snack. Are you having a snack? Oh, another one that doesn't want to go. Well, actually, it looks like I can only get 2 in there anyway. And then maybe 2 more in that direction. Some of these beads are slightly strangely shaped. Oh, come on. Oh, good, I got them. And 1 more. All right, so far so good. Knot off, and then I will fill in the other side. I think the trick to some of these little beaded things is just, I think I've probably said it before, but I'm going to reiterate because I think it's worth saying. Keeping it small really helps. It doesn't feel as overwhelming. Like when you get into the middle of it and you're really sort of down in the weeds of filling in little spaces, and something's really large, it can start to feel overwhelming. So when it's a small space, it's much easier to kind of comprehend. And here we go. So I'm going to get this center stripe of blue finished. And then we will move on to some other colors. I think I can fit in, oh, maybe one more. Yeah. Yeah, all right, so not quite as well. Yeah, I can still make it kind of that top line. I can make that bottom line a little more distinct, I think, when I get down to the bottom. Okay, so that's the blue. I think I can probably fit one more in down there. That might help make that look a little more pointed. And maybe that's what I'll do on the other side too. I think it needs another one right there. Have I got a super tiny one? That looks kind of small. There, yeah. Now, part of the thing that makes a beaded thing look good is just the continuity of the beads themselves. So I think that's the part that I'm struggling with, is I want nice long lines of beads that look like they kind of help make the eye travel. I am going to have to fiddle with this a little bit more, but that might just be some stay stitches that I stick in at the end. So let's make sure that this is all, yep, tight as can be. Okay. All right. I'm going to set this to the side. Actually, I'll leave it here. Now I've got to pick a color for up here. It might be this one because I love it. I also have several shades of blue. Maybe what I'll do is it'd be crazy to do this all in blues, because those are different blues and they're very pretty. And then I've got these blues, which are different again. Oh, or are they the same? Are they the same? No, they're slightly darker. For sure they're slightly darker. That's actually kind of a smoky blue. Smoky baby blue? Is there such a thing as a smoky baby blue? Hi, Becky. Becky with the dad jokes in the chat. I made it before the end. Excellent. Love it. No, I didn't come here to make an all blue egg. I came here to use my pretty pastel colors. So pastel colors I shall use. And I have a whole bunch of purpley ones. That might be interesting. These are different. I think I'll try these. I'll fill them in at the bottom or the top. Bottom or top. Bottom. It's going to be the bottom. They're like half funnel beads, like they're half sized. So we'll see how this looks. And I will pop right up here into the corner. I'm going to get this out of the road. These are kind of like a mauve. And they're fairly large, so they should all fit over my needle. Oh, are they too much the same color? They're kind of similar. Yeah, I think they're too similar. I kind of want the pink outline to look like a drawing and then everything on the inside to be different. Well, I just switched to these pinks. Yep, probably. I will switch to the pinks. This one doesn't quite have a hole in it. All right. Yeah, that's better. That's more what I was going for. Now, is that going to be... Is that going to kind of crush that out of the way? I can go back and fill that in, so that's not a big deal. Maybe I can get this to move up a bit. Yeah, that's how we do it. Yep, yep, this is going in the direction I think I want it to. So let's see how, there we go. This pink, there's something about this hot pink. Kind of a fuchsia? I guess it's sort of a fuchsia. I can't get enough of it. I kind of want to put it in everything. Gotcha. Becky thinks the pink was a good contrast choice. Good, I'm glad to hear it. Thank you. Yes, I agree. I think the other one, that mauve, is just too close to the pink. It wouldn't have been interesting enough. I think one of the fun things about painting Easter eggs is that you get to fill them full of bright, happy, cheerful spring colors. I think the idea is to sort of reflect like early spring flowers, you know, nice, bright, happy colors. It's so nice to look at bright, happy colors after a long winter of bleh. Are you going for 3 distinct solid sections or are you mixing, asks Shell. I think I'm going to do the 3 distinct sections. Kind of like, I'm picturing that, I'm picturing an egg pattern that I was fond of drawing when I was little. And it was always sort of like the egg with like a big zigzag stripe through the middle, and then the top and bottom sections were different colors. So I'm kind of trying to do that. I don't know what I'm going to put up top. Maybe yellow. I feel like yellow might be the right choice, but we'll see. I'm also trying to sort of use beads that are all relatively the same size because I feel like that's going to look really tidy. I don't know if I probably have little yellow beads. I'm going to have to go looking. I kind of want to slip the small filler beads in kind of underneath the the lines, like the light pink bugle beads, because I want them to kind of sit out a little bit on top. It'll also help fill in the spaces, but it'll also highlight the fact that that's like kind of a drawing line, like a, I don't know what the right words are, but I want the little filler beads to sit just underneath the pink bugle beads. They'll sit up a little bit on top. I think that'll help define the shape, the sort of the design. Thank you, Jada. The word is design. Did I put too many in there? No, I didn't. I just need to weight that one down a little bit. Yeah. Hi, Dizzy. Dee's in the house. Crafty gang's all here. So an egg is a nice shape to bead. If you haven't tried any of these and you're thinking you might like to start with something simple, of all of the shapes I've done so far, I think the egg is probably the easiest, and I'm making it a little extra complicated by doing some design building on the inside. I recommend the egg. And then a chicken. I just realized making a chicken would be fun. Okay. Yeah, that is, I like that. That looks like definite stripes now. Ooh, veggie straws. I love those. I think I have pretzels in the cupboard. They may be calling my name later. Have to eat some supper first. I'm not sure what I'm going to make. Chicken soup, maybe? I was thinking soup, but then Shell said lasagna, and I'm like, oh man, pasta would be nice too. Maybe I'll just add pasta to the soup. I'll make chicken noodle soup. How's that? It's kind of like a meet me halfway kind of a thing. It's almost time to refill the needle. I've also been sort of looking at people's embroidered beaded brooches and whatnot on Pinterest the last few weeks. And I'm noticing that one of the other little techniques that they do is they kind of do all this background beading, which is what I'm doing. And then they'll take really fancy gemstones or fancier, larger beads and stitch them down on top. I don't know that I have anything that would suit that for today's project. I might. but it would basically be like, you know, like a clunky thing here and a clunky sort of gemstone up top. So you do all the background beading and then you add some fancier big ones on top. That's a technique I'd like to try. It also makes it look like it fills it in a lot more. I absolutely love the process of like trying out a new kind of, a new craft. So I would consider making these a new kind of craft. To me, obviously. People have been beating things for a zillion years, but to me, this is new. So I love A, trying this, and B, going down the rabbit hole of looking at how other people make theirs and how they use beads and in what order they put them in. And I'm always looking for kind of, I guess, just new tips or new tricks or new ideas. Goodness me, that's good. Maybe you can use that large heart bead on something like that. Oh yeah, that's a great idea. Dizzy hasn't been on Pinterest for years. Dizzy, it's like it's the one major place I feel like I spend a lot of my off time. I just love scrolling through a zillion photos of like landscaping and craft projects and sewing projects and people's clothes, and I love it. It's always a good spot to grab some ideas. Generally, I find it's pretty good too with links. Like things are usually linked to the original source, so it's easy to kind of find out if, you know, it came from somebody's vlog or it came from an Etsy shop or something like that, which I find very useful. Now Michelle has me thinking about all those big beads, and maybe there would be one that would be, has to be in a kind of a pastel-y color. And it can't be too big. It's got to be sparkly and it's got to be a pastel-y sort of color. I got all you guys for ideas, says Dizzy. You know what? It's true. This group is pretty great. Lots of fun ideas here. I just love, I guess there's so many things I like to look at. I love to look at, like right now, I'm thinking about, you know, my brain is starting to think about gardening and flowers and sort of growing, doing some more stuff in the backyard and making it look, you know, like the guerrilla garden of my dreams. Okay, that looks pretty neat. I will knot that off and then I will find some colorful beads for the top. All right, I think I can put that one aside and, oh yeah, okay, see you. Hello, Charlie, welcome, welcome. Achoo, oh no, blah. I hope you feel a little bit better soon. Yes, go back to bed, but take us with you. You can hang out in bed and watch as I slowly bead my way to an egg, and you can drift off to sleep to the ridiculous tones of my voice. I think I'm getting somewhere. I'm getting somewhere. I like it. Turning it so you can sort of see it. A little bit of glimmer and sparkle there. Now I just need to fill in the top. I'm hoping for yellow, something kind of that contrasts, but I need a small bead, so might do a little bit of digging around here for a minute. I've got, I have small turquoise beads in my new, whoops, I knew that was going to happen. Don't worry, it's not too big of a mess. Let me just get this out of the way. My new Michael's kit. So I've got these, which are contrasty. They're like a, maybe you can't quite tell, but they're a short bugle bead as opposed to the long bugle bead. The size of that kind of mauve one I was trying earlier, but they're teal. So that's a possibility. I don't have any other tiny ones here other than those green ones, but it's too dark a green. And these are opaque, and so are those. So I want something with sparkle. I was hoping for yellow, but those are not bad. I've got little orange ones, which might not be too bad in a pinch. So I'll put them down. I've got really pretty mauve that are pearlescent, so they'd be the same tone. I'd like something a little more contrasting. Orange, orange, orange. Do I have any yellow? I've got big yellow, but I wanted to keep it small. Yeah, oh, I've got gold. What would gold look like? Would gold... All right, I'm gonna bring you back down to the craft table here. You can see what I'm doing. I've got these gold ones, which are yellowish on the white background. They actually look okay. So that's not bad, actually. So let me just put those back in here. So I've got gold, not bad. I've got orange, which also isn't bad because it's got the same kind of like pearlescence that the pink down here has, but I really wasn't planning on putting orange in my egg. I really wanted something a little bit more Easter colored, and I don't typically think of orange as a classic Easter color. Not that I've got anything against it as an Easter color, it's just, it's not really what I was thinking. I have these pretty purple beads, which are not nearly contrasty enough. They're very similar to the pink outline, which is fine, but I really think it should be more of a contrast. Of course, that's how that worked out. Good thing I only had a couple out. Put these back. Should have my little bead funnel here. So there are no, these ones are quite nice. So it's either going to be these teal ones or the gold ones, which is kind of a surprise. So the teal might be too close to the blue. I think it's going to be the gold. Let me get a few more in here. I think, yeah, sure. You know what? Why not? Oh, there's even a couple hiding under the egg. Orange to me is fall, says Jessica Rabbit. I agree. I agree. On camera, that teal looks too close unless you do the extra pink, maybe. I agree, Shell. So as beautiful as these are, I'm going to put them back in here, and I'm going to stick to the gold because on the white background, the gold doesn't look as gold as it does all kind of clustered together here in the little bin. So gold it is. It's a slightly larger bead. It's not big, but it's a little bit larger. Oh my gosh, don't you dare turn into a knot. How did that even happen? Okay, where is this supposed to go? Why do I manage to do this at least once every single time? I'm not even sure what on earth I did here. Okay. Is that a knot? Yeah, that's now a knot. You know what? I am not going to fight with this. Haha, knot. Not going to fight with that. Grumble, grumble, grumble. Let's do this again. I'm not even sure how that happened. Okay. Golden beads, here we go. They're kind of yellow, but they're kind of sparkly. Somehow I think they'll look okay up top. I mean, those ones are really, really yellow, but I think they're too pale. Are they too big? Okay. Oh, it's the perfect yellow, these pale ones. It's just that they're bigger than I was anticipating using. I'm going to use them. Last minute substitution. I'm going for the big beads. You know what? It's okay because I used, oh, there's another one of those little purple ones. I used the long beads, so that's contrast in shape and size enough, I think. So I'm going to go with the bigger beads, and this is a bigger, it's a bigger area to fill. So I think it'll work out okay. Let us find out together. So they're large, so I'm going to do 3. Ah, I love that yellow. I love that pale, pale yellow. So. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. It's the right yellow. I think I can probably get these to go the way I want them to. Yeah. Ah, I've reached that point where you can feel the weight of the beads and the sort of the closeness of the stitching on the back starting to change the feel of the felt. So now it's starting to feel like a different kind of fabric, and that fun weight is that the weight of the beads is starting to sink in. It just feels so neat. I like this yellow too, Becky. I think it was the right choice. It's very baby. It's like brand new baby chick yellow. Is that too many? No, it's not. I squished that backwards. Will it fit? I think that is just too many. I like the way these beads are. They're, oh my gosh, this knotted. Can you believe this? I got a knot anyway. What is going on? Well, I'm not gonna fight it now. These beads are all different shapes. They remind me of little pearls, so I really like using them because they're not all uniform. That knot is really annoying. Random crochet question, asks Shell. If you guys are using invisible join to join your row on, say, a granny square, do you knot it off or do you just sew it in a bunch of times? Invisible join. If I'm using invisible join, I knot it off. If I'm doing any kind of sewing, if I'm doing any kind of sewing, I knot it off like I'm sewing. I treat it just like sewing. Does that make sense? I think only 2 will fit. Yeah, I'm really liking this yellow too. These yellow beads also have this lovely little bit of pearlescence to them. And I think the larger size is working for me. It's got like a bit of a different texture. I'm happy. I like it. Now, if I were to do one of these again, and I just might because I do love decorating Easter eggs, and I were to do the exact same design, I would probably put the bigger beads on the bottom, just for that bottom heavy kind of look. But I mean, I do like this too. The kind of the clustering of the big beads up top is kind of fun and interesting as well. I can get one big one in here. That's a nice big one. Thanks, ladies, I will behave. Any crafting questions are more than welcome here. This is a good spot. Oh, do I want to do that? Maybe I'll come out a little bit further along. I have long attested that one craft leads to another. So if you sort of get excited about a technique or a particular discipline, and you see a design coming together or a set of colors matching up or just anything, that pretty soon at some point you're gonna think of it in a different medium. You're gonna think of it sort of sideways. Like if you like to crochet, you'll maybe want to try knitting. If you've knit before, you might want to try crochet. Then, you know, from there you might want to try Tunisian. And then from there you might want to try you know, just anything that kind of like making pom-poms and then using looms. And then, you know what I'm saying? Like it all kind of just tessellates together in one big, beautiful, crafty thing. Every time I play with my beads, I think about how I might like to see this. Now I'm thinking I want to paint eggs because little 5-year-old Jada is like, okay, this is fun, but can we paint some eggs? Like, wouldn't it just be nice to paint some eggs? I'm like, why not? When's the last time I painted an egg? That's what I mean. Like one craft just kind of leads to another. Oh my gosh. These are just laying in where they're supposed to so nicely. What a nice little gift that was right at the end. Oh yeah. All right. Well, that happened faster than I thought. That is so cute. All right, I'm going to call that a win. Let me just knot off. Same thing. I'll probably trim it up and add. Actually, you know what? No, I'm going to do the whole thing. I'm going to do the blanket stitching around the edge while we sit here because it's such a simple, small shape, and I really want to finish it off. So quick look at where we're at. Come on, computer. There we go. So I will try to twist it ever so slightly so that we get a bit of shadow where we need it. So that's a very pale yellow top. And once again, maybe sideways you can sort of see the thickness of it. I will take a better photo when it's finished, and it will become the thumbnail of the video. So you can come back and see it. I'll probably also make a post. Because I feel like you can't quite see it because it's a bit blown out from the exposure, but all of those little yellow beads just nestled in there so nicely. I am so happy with that. Egg is a fun shape to bead. Okay, I want to do that. I'm going to put these away in here. I want to do that thing. I want to do the edging. So I want to embroider blanket stitch around the edge. I don't want to draw away from the pink, so I'm going to use pink around the edge because I really like that little beaded edging thing. You know what else? This whole little process of beading and whatever has had me pull out my embroidery floss, and I've had some of this embroidery floss in my collection for years, So I'm also using this stuff up. I'm kind of getting back into playing with my embroidery floss. I pull out embroidery floss for various reasons pretty regularly. I think I mix embroidery. Like, I like to embroider in general. I was just about to say, like, I don't maybe embroider in the sense that you think like making a picture or whatever. I've done a little bit of cross stitch, but I find that I use it a lot when I'm making crochet things or little knit things. I like to do embroidery on that. I like to do little embroidered details on larger appliques, kind of like this. So I'm just happy to be able to keep using up all these different scraps of stuff. Let's not knot this together. All right, so I'm gonna go with this needle, thread up my embroidery floss, and then one blanket stitch edging for my new egg. Okay, back to the table. And here we go. Beth says, I shop every department of the craft store. Nothing is safe for me. Me too. I get in there and check out every little, because you never know what you're going to find. You never know. It's going to spark an idea, or that you might want to do a mixed media thing. I love doing mixed media things. The real question is, how much chocolate will fit in that egg? Not very much, but that's okay. I think oh, is that a little bit of fluff? Even when I don't pick up my puppy and snuggle her, I end up with her the odd little fur tucked into projects. So I'm going to try and make my stitches about as wide as the length of each of these bugle beads. And I'm not going to trim it either. I think I'm going to really let the blanket stitch kind of show up for this one, because I kind of like the white felt being part of the show on this egg. Yeah. I went to Michael's the other day because I needed a specific ball of yarn, and I go all the way. I walk in and it's like super quiet, and I'm thinking to myself, are they closed? Like, did I just walk in and like, you know, like there's nobody here. I'm walking past aisles. The music is playing overhead in that weird kind of tinny, empty, dead mall kind of, you know what I mean? Like, I'm thinking, where is everybody? And I can hear chittering and chattering, and I'm like, okay, so there's people here. I get all the way to the back of the store where the yarn section is, and I turn down the aisle knowing where I need to go to get the yarn I need, and literally everybody is in that aisle. There are 3 employees in there. One's up a ladder, you know, she's stacking stuff. There's 3 women in there looking at balls of yarn, and everybody is clustered in exactly the same place that I need to be. And I'm like, well, I guess this is where the party's at. Shell says, I bought a bunch of Christmas stuff, 80% off at Michael's, that I'm going to mix media craft into gifts. It's fun to grab the pieces and create with them after the fact. Oh, I love doing that. And let's face it, getting 80% off, nice deal. Very nice. Yes, I think in this case, the blanket stitching in the pink is going to help to accentuate. I think I'm going in the wrong direction here. It's going to help, nope, that's where I did want to be here. It's going to help accentuate the look of those pink bugle beads. So I think I like this. And I'm trying to keep my stitches the same length as the beads themselves to kind of accentuate that look. And that should just about do it. There. Gee. Okay. I will knot this on the back, maybe over here. There we go. I still have quite a bit of pink left over, so that can go back in there. And yeah, that feels tidy, neat, finished. The back is nice and clean. It's got that lovely little weight. I love the stripe in the middle. I think that's so cute. Yeah. So let's take another, I think I might, it's almost a little, the sun keeps moving around, so you can sort of, like I said, I'll take a better picture of this for everybody and I'll make it the thumbnail. I really like how that worked out. So it didn't come together exactly the way I thought it would, but I don't dislike it. Oh, I was going to look at maybe adding a couple of bigger beads. Let's see if I've got anything that might suit. Like, they'll end up being like polka dots, maybe? Maybe not. Like, I've got sort of bigger beads. Do I really want to do this? I'm going to take you down to the table again for a second. Tell me what you think about something like this. So I've got blue. That might be too big. But I've got these lovely pink, bigger pink beads. Am I ruining it if I put on... Yeah, they're not fancy enough. I'm thinking more like it's got to be, like this is kind of shiny, but it's about the same color, and then it's only one side, so that's a no. No. This is that heart that... It's just that it's only sewable in one place, shell, but you know what? I'll find something for it. I will find something for it. And no, I think the answer is no. I don't think I have anything big and fancy that isn't overwhelming that would fit on top of this. I was just thinking like if I had some kind of glinting faceted bead that was bigger. You could do another one with the pink in the middle and use the blue and teal in each other. Yeah, you know what I was thinking about doing, Shell, to that end? I was thinking about doing the flower center like I did on the turtle a couple days ago, and doing an egg with the flower in the middle and then filling in around that, because I'm kind of obsessed with that 6-petal flower look right now. But 5-year-old Jada won today. I wanted to do the stripe. I think this is cute. If I do another one, I might do something a little more complicated like the flower, but I wanted something simple today. And I do like the simple. Simple's okay. You know what? I'm leaving it. I'm not going to touch it. I don't want to ruin it. That's exactly what I'm going to end up doing if I if I get into it. So there we go. Okay. So that is it. I have made myself a little beaded egg. Too bad I didn't count the beads. Then I would have known just how many beads I could cram into one little egg. I will definitely be revisiting the Easter egg, I think, at some point, because it's such a satisfying shape to stitch. It's so easy. That roundedness is so nice, and there's so many options for ideas. Like doing big polka dots would be fun. Doing themed eggs might be kind of fun. I don't know if I'm going to get around to all this, but my brain, you know, like I said earlier, it kind of just, it leaps forward, and it's trying to do the next and the next and the next before I've even got half a circle of beads in. Eggs are also like just such a, I know you think Easter, you think eggs, but they're just such a pretty shape. They're such a satisfying shape. And they're so fun to decorate. There's so many ways you can decorate an egg. So I think I might do another beaded egg. I'll see. I really like the way this one turned out. And I like the edging because it makes it a little stronger. I'm just thinking when I sew it down to something, I can sew right through that edging and right through that stitching, and I'll feel like it's on whatever I stitch it to pretty securely. So that's another reason I kind of like that blanket stitch around the edge. So yeah, I'm pleased with that. I think that's cute. I'm going to take a good picture of it. I'll make it the thumbnail, and I might even make a post too. I might even sketch up some other ones, because now I've got ideas in my head. And I've got all these Eastery shaded beads. You know what? I never know. I never know what I'm going to do. An idea usually pops into my head in the middle of the night when I'm out with Penny, giving her a little chance to go wee in the middle of the night, and some idea usually jumps into my head, and if it percolates long enough, it will often turn into one of these little projects. But 24 hours before I sit down with all of you, I haven't got a clue. It just doesn't matter. I just want to, if I feel like making something, I will sit down and I will make it, and most of the time, I have no idea what's coming. An Easter egg, kind of feels like I had to do an Easter egg. You know, Easter's coming. I've got it on the brain. I'm seeing eggs all over the place. But I've got all these other little egg projects I kind of want to try too. Who knows? Don't know what's coming next. Doesn't matter. As long as it's crafty, I'm here for it. Let me pop into the chat and say hello just before I take off. A flower button, maybe? Buttons! Ms. Rabbit, you're right. Oh, all my buttons. I could totally go through my buttons. That's a great idea. Maybe that's what I'll do for the next one. Maybe if I concentrate on just filling in the background with beads, and it's like I'm thinking about the filler as just background, that will let me kind of do some splashy things with buttons. Because you're so right. I've got those fabulous flower buttons. Great, now I'm gonna have to make another one, thanks. Oh my gosh. Okay, so pink in the middle, blue and teal on either end, said Shell. I like that. That made me think of the flower in the middle, which is what I was thinking, but I'm glad I did the stripes. I was originally thinking it was going to be every color you have crammed into the base on the title. You know what? I think that might happen with one of them. We'll see. If something belongs on it, you know it when you will see it. You're so right, Jessica Rabbit. That's good. That's great crafting advice in general. If something is right, you'll just know it. Art is so much feeling. It's so much the vibe. Let's go with the vibe. Yes? No? Very, very true. I like to make my designs on paper. Dizzy, it depends on the project, but frequently I like to sketch something out, especially if I can't quite decide on the color or maybe the shape of something. I do draw a lot of stuff. I might sketch some eggs. I think I might sit down and do that because now I've got these other little ideas floating around my head, but there's all these little other egg projects I want to try. I don't know. If I get to them, you guys will be the first to know because I'm going to sit here and I'm going to do it. That is what a book is for, putting all your ideas in. You know what? I've got a bazillion journals. I should include, so now because I've got that little photo album that I'm keeping all of these beaded appliques in, I think that's a great idea. I think it should be almost become kind of smash project bookish. Like if I make some sketches, they go in with the beaded appliques. If I have some thoughts for later, I make some notes and stick those in with it. That would be kind of useful because I don't know what I'm going to do with these beaded appliques. Like I don't envision putting like a mushroom, like the toadstool one I did. I don't see that sitting on the same project as like this pastel-y Easter egg. They're different and they're for different things. And honestly, they don't have to have an end unit. You know, they could end up just, I don't know where the life of these things is going to go. But for now, I keep them in that book, and keeping notes in that book is a great idea. And especially keeping sketches, because you know what it's like. You get an idea, and if you don't write it down or sketch it down or whatever, it will often float away and you may never think of it again. So that's a really good idea. See, you guys are awesome. You're always awesome. That's why I love sitting and crafting with you guys. Plus, it makes me feel like I'm a teenager again. You know, I'm sitting here with all my craft supplies and a couple of my girlfriends, and we're just hanging out and doing something crafty. I love it. This is how you stay young. Okay, I'm going to clean up my beads. I'm going to put this in its little place, and I think I'm going to go make some chicken soup with pasta. Thank you, Shell, for the idea. Thank you guys for hanging out. I hope the rest of your Friday is wonderful. I hope your weekend is great. I'll see you guys again pretty soon, I think. Again, I don't know when. Make sure your notifications are on. If you want to sit and hang out with me, then like you'll know as soon as I know, because the second I know, I start a stream up and usually give myself like 15, 30 minutes before it goes. So you know as soon as I do that I want to sit down and make something. So if you're around and you want to spend some time with me, I'd love the company. And I hope that these things provide a little bit of spunk and excitement and inspiration for you guys too, because it's that lovely circle of inspiration. You guys tell me things, I go, oh, that'd be a great idea. And then I do something, or somebody else mentions something in the chat, and then somebody else gets an idea. It's wonderful, and I love it. You guys are wonderful. Have a wonderful weekend. Stay safe and crafty. Remember, you get to stitch your own story. That is what I'm doing here, and it's been so much fun so far. Who knows where this is going to go? And I hope you guys are along for the ride. Have a wonderful evening. We will see you soon. Ciao for now, my dear friends.